let's jump in how to build your first Asana project. So from here, we can go ahead and open our sidebar if it's not open already. We can navigate out to work and then home just like this. Once we click that, we'll be right on the home page, and this is your view. From here, we can go ahead and click Create Project under our projects here. And then from there, we can go ahead and click Blank Project just like this. From here, we're going to go ahead and give our project a name. So let's go ahead and call this Test Project for Asana, just like this. Now, if you're going to use this for actual work, you can name it whatever you're going to use for your specific project. So for example, if you're building a project to manage social media, call it something like Social Media Project. Or if you're going to use it for business operations, you could call it something like Business Operations Project. In this case, though, we're just going to call it the basic Asana example project. And from here, we can add a team. Don't worry too much about this when you're just getting started. When you start bringing people into your Asana and inviting them to different projects and things like that, then you can worry about adding a team. But for right now, I'm not super worried about this from a beginner lens when using Asana. I'm going to go ahead and click continue just like that. And I'm only going to enable a few types of views. I'm going to enable our overview, our list view, our board view, and lastly, I will go ahead and disable the timeline view, dashboard view, Gantt chart view, workload, and I'll add a calendar view here just like this. Even if you accidentally continue on or you don't see these here, we can always modify the views within our Asana project after we've created the project. So don't worry too much about this, but these are the default views that I recommend when you're first starting out. These other views here can be a little bit too complex. Dashboard is a good view as well, but I don't recommend any of these other views if you're just starting out within Asana. Let's go ahead and click Create Project to create our project here. And from here, you can see we have a completely blank project. We're going to go ahead and build this project out in a second, but I wanted to show you a second method that you can use to create a project just in case you're not able to find the way that I just showed you. So let's go back to our homepage here. And in this second way, we're still going to expand our sidebar within Asana, and we're going to go down to projects now. So instead of going from the homepage and clicking Create Project here, let's just go right to the projects page. From here, we can go ahead and click Create a Project just like this in the right-hand corner. And same thing as last time, I'm going to go ahead and use blank project just like this. Now, if you have a use for any of these different templates or these different project templates, you can use them. But for basic Asana use, I actually just recommend that you click blank project like this because some of these can be very, very overwhelming and very confusing when you're just starting out. So same thing as last time, I'm clicking blank project and I'll type in a project name. In this case, we could go ahead and do the same exact thing we did earlier, create our project, click continue, and then we'll have built our project. So let's dive back into the project that we originally created because we don't need to create a second project because we already created that earlier one. From here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm now going to create a few different sections within our project in order to start tracking, organizing, and managing things a lot easier. Sections in Asana are essentially ways that we can organize our various tasks. So for example, I can click add section just like this, and I could put a section for say one-time tasks. So tasks that we only do once. We could do daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly tasks, yearly tasks, and let's just also add a archive. So this is a very basic setup for a project. You can see here we have our one-time tasks, our daily, weekly, monthly, yearly archive. So essentially within each section, we can set tasks based on what the section actually pertains to. Our various sections here within Asana are categories that divide our project into organized groups of tasks, and they help us structure our overall project and track progress very easily. Let's use the example of someone who's running a small business. They might have a wide variety of different tasks that need to be done at multiple frequencies. For example, when they're just starting their business, they might need to register their company to become a legal entity or an LLC. Additionally, they might also have to register with local business authorities in order to get any sort of local business permits or any sort of local business laws in order. They might also need to register for or create a business bank account. So you can see here we have a few different one-time tasks, and these are all very, very important for starting out a business, but they only really need to be done once. Once you create an LLC, you don't need to really register for another LLC. Same thing with a business bank account. While this is really important, once we've created our business bank account, we don't necessarily need to create one every week or every month. So this is what I would call a one-time task. And the way that we're structuring this right now is just one example of how we can structure a very basic Asana project. I'm going to show a wide variety of different structures that use completely different section names than this, but this is just our working example here. So these are our three example tasks. And now I'm going to go ahead and create daily tasks that a small business owner might need to fulfill. So in this case, I'm going to call this 1x daily or one time daily so that whoever's doing this task knows that this task is a daily task. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one check email. So every single day, the person assigned to this task is going to be checking their email. Next up, I'm going to add another daily task called check paid and unpaid invoices. And lastly, another task that a business owner might do daily is check all social media business related messages like that. From there, we might have a task that's due every week. We might call this check overall business progress. This could be done at the frequency of one time a week. From there, we might have a monthly task called check bank and credit card statements, verify all charges are accurate. We might also have another task called check and organize all business files. And yearly, we might have something like file yearly taxes and get receipts, etc. in order. So in this case, you can see we have a wide variety of different tasks that we've created for this small business that we plan on opening and running. Let's move into how you can share your project within Asana. And this is incredibly important because anyone who wants to join your project, view all the tasks, view all the sections for your specific project needs to be invited through the share button right here. So let's go ahead and click share. And from here, you can see we can invite people with their email. So I'm going to go ahead and put in an email here. Let's go ahead and put it in like this. And we can go ahead and click the invite button like that, and we can change their permission. Now, generally, if someone is going to be working on the different tasks, you want to give them editor or project admin. Usually I'll just give them the editor role, but if someone's like one of your clients or someone who's external to your company that you only want them to be able to view or comment, you can use the commenter or viewer permissions here in order to restrict them actually being able to mark tasks as complete and move things around and change sections and views or modify anything in the project. So that's the commenter and the viewer different types of permissions here. But generally, when you're having people work within your project, I'll generally just give them an editor permission just like this. And then we can go ahead and click invite like that. And once we press invite, it's going to automatically add them here. So even if they don't go to the email and they don't accept it, you'll still see them within here. So if you want to remove them, all you have to do is go from editor to remove from project or whatever their permission is and click remove from project. At any time, you can remove them or you can also modify their permissions. It's really your choice. Just make sure that you keep things up to date and that you're removing anyone on a project who doesn't actually belong on that project, or you're modifying their access to something like viewer or commenter. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how we can start adding different customization to these tasks, assigning them out through the assignee, adding due dates, repeating due dates for our repetitive tasks like our daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And we're going to overall explore a wide variety of different areas that you need to understand to use Asana from the perspective of your tasks, because your tasks are the most important area within Asana and they control almost all of your work.